Hey guys, what's up? This is Paul from Get Yours Online Training and Nutrition with episode number 5. That was for you, JB, of Rugby Fitness Responses. Apologies for the fact this video has actually been taken in my old bedroom at my mother's house and I am holding the camera. Basically, I've been puppy sitting for my parents for the last week, and as adorable as young Barkley, that's his name, as adorable as he is, trying to film a science-based video in front of him is a complete and utter waste of time. So I'm going to do it this way for today. The question from last week was from Fred. It was a very simple question. It was if, gun to your head, if you only had to, you were only allowed to do one exercise, what would you use with regards to improving performance in rugby? So my response probably won't surprise many people if you've watched my channel up until this point. It's the deadlift. Deadlift and variations. This is the important kind of proviso I'm going to put on this. And variations thereof. If you are executing the deadlift well with neutral spine, primarily loading your posterior chain with some involvement from obviously your upper back and your quadricep muscles, and really using the glutes to fire through that rep, then it is an incredibly effective strength movement for the simple reason that it allows you to lift heavier poundages than any other strength movement, because you are engaging so many muscular groups and so much of your skeleton at once. It's also good for your core, because keeping everything locked in when you're being pulled out of shape by heavy weight is very, very difficult. It's good for your shoulders. It teaches you to pack your shoulders into a good position and get good scapular retraction. It's just a great movement all round. And by using variations of the lift, you can cover lots of different parameters of fitness. So keeping it basic, your simple, 80% of 1 rep max, 3 reps, 5 rep sets, that's your basic strength work. Again, if you are using the correct muscles and not doing it with appalling form and kind of really bad rounding in your lower back. If you take those poundages right down, 6 sets of 3 at say 50% of your 1 rep max, or even as low as 4 sets of 5 at 35% of your 1 rep max, you're talking speed reps there, so you're developing kind of power and dynamism. That's what we call a strength speed movement, so much like Olympic lifting, but not as technical, and therefore easier to do. You could be doing, again, a slightly lighter poundage, maybe 50%, but now rather than doing 6 lots of 3, you're doing as many reps as possible, or AMRAP if you're one of those people who wears long socks even when you're bench pressing. So you can cover anaerobic elements of fitness with the deadlift. Doing as many as possible set of deadlifts with a heavy weight, it feels like a mini marathon. There is a massive anaerobic benefit to that. So obviously I'm not suggesting that you only do deadlifting in your program to get good at rugby, but if you were only allowed to do one exercise, the deadlift is the one that I would recommend. It's the most rounded exercise of any exercise that I can think of in or out of the gym. Obviously you want to be using your variations, so you want to be using your Romanian deadlifts to really attack and improve mobility and movement in the posterior chain. You can switch to a trap bar deadlift or a hexagon bar if you don't know what a trap bar is, and turn it into a more quad dominant movement. There's a bunch of different ways you can use the deadlift to get slightly different results, but that is my number one exercise for rugby and any strength related sport is the deadlift. So I hope that was pretty straightforward for you all. I will be back next week with the final episode in the series of Rugby Fitness Responses, at least for the time being. So any questions you have, rugby-related fitness, whack them in the comment section below. Comment that gets the most likes before next week will be the question or topic that I talk about in next week's video. Till then, this is Paul from Get Yours Online Training. Have a great weekend. Peace out.
Hello.